This video was made with the support of Prostate Cancer UK. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can help. It's been almost 10 years since a team other than Juventus has won Serie A. But with almost half the season gone and now under the management of Andrea Pirlo, the Bianconeri are well off the pace in Italy. So what's going wrong? Well, it's best to start with the coach. Now, normally it's hard to say specifically what a coach wants to do. As viewers, we can watch a team and draw inferences, but we aren't in the dressing room or on the training pitch. However, with Pirlo, it's different, because weeks before he got the Juve job, he presented his football thesis to the Italian finishing school for top-flight coaches in Coverciano. And it's very useful because it describes how he wants his team to play. And here are the key points. He's influenced by Cruyff and Guardiola's Barcelona sides, Van Gaal's Ajax, Ancelotti's AC Milan and Conte's Juventus, and wants to play a total and collective style. Now, in real terms, this articulates one of his philosophies, and that of his assistant coach and former instructor at Coverciano, Antonio Gagliardi. A role in modern football is no longer a position, but a function. In other words, players must be versatile, adaptive, and fulfill a function that meets their own set of skills, not simply where they start when the whistle blows. Now, this means that Pirlo expects his players to be fluid, to interchange positions and move around the pitch. Football should move away from static team shapes and become more about a dynamic occupation of positions that are functional to the principles behind our playing model. So, while Pirlo's Juventus line up in a 4-2-3-1, the team's shape looks more like a 4-4-2 in defence and a 3-2-5 in attack, with one fullback tucking inside to make a back three and the other pushing up high to act as a kind of winger. The team is supposed to control the ball and press in a well-ordered but aggressive way to regain possession when it's lost, ideally within 5 seconds before the opposition can build momentum or get into its proper defensive shape. Pirlo also adheres to the build-up principle described by the acronym CARP, which translated into English stands for build-up, width, penetration into the final third, and stretching the play behind the opposition defence. He wants to build up from the back, using the keeper to add an additional passing option. Every player should have 4 options around them, 1 behind, 2 laterally and 1 ahead, ideally between the lines. Now, this is why rotation is so important, whether that is to receive the ball or to drag a marker away to allow space for a teammate. In this example, a winger moving infield to a central midfield position and a central midfielder moving wide creates space for the overlapping fullback by pulling markers away from their zones. Now, key to this are third-man runs, something that Pirlo has tried to drill into his team and midfielders like Aaron Ramsey especially. A third-man runner is one who is near the play but makes a break beyond the opposition line to arrive into space at the same time the ball does from a passer who has themselves just received the ball. So player A passes to player B as C sets off, meaning that C is in space between or behind the lines when they receive the pass from B. It's hard to defend these runs when they're effectively made because, instinctively, defenders are drawn towards the ball, while the third-man runner has all the momentum in the opposite direction. Now, lastly, it's worth noting that Pirlo believes in technical ability and expressive, even improvised play in the attacking third. While systems and structures are necessary, individual creativity and skill is often the key to unlocking a packed defence. So, we know what Pirlo wants Juve to do, but is this actually reflected in the team's play? And if it is, then why isn't it working? Well, the good news for Juventus fans is that actually it mostly is. Only in 2 games this season has their opponents' expected goals exceeded theirs during the losses to Fiorentina and Inter Milan. Otherwise, even in the matches drawn, 5 of which came in the opening 8 fixtures, Juventus should have scored more than their opponents, at least according to the XG. It's also worth pointing out that while Pirlo may have inherited the most prestigious job in Italian football, the task was tougher than it appeared. Juventus only won Serie A in 2019-20 by 1 point, while 4 teams scored more goals and 2 conceded fewer, the first time that's happened in 9 years. Juventus are a team in transition. Last season, Ronaldo scored 31 of their 76 league goals. This season so far, it's 15 of 35. They're still very reliant on him. Now, tellingly, he missed the draws against Crotone and Hellas Verona, two of the worst results of last season. Nevertheless, Juventus are bringing in younger players who can provide reinforcement, like Federico Chiesa and Dejan Kulusevski. And this is important. On loan, Weston McKennie has also excelled. Young left-back Gianluca Frabotta is benefiting from sustained selection, and Matthias de Ligt, while blighted by injury this season, is gradually getting over his shaky start to Serie A life. Added to which, Juventus have a clear tactical plan. They've gone from being the 8th most pressing team in Serie A last season to the 3rd most so far this term, and they've improved their deep completions from 8th in the league to 3rd. In other words, they've significantly improved the relative frequency with which they can find players in dangerous positions near the opposition goal. Both are key tenets of Pirlo's philosophy, and his team are getting them right. However, as James Horncastle wrote in a recent article for The Athletic, for all the faith shown in Pirlo, he has to win. And his efforts to mould the team tactically and stylistically will, of course, have to be accompanied by material success. The Athletic has teamed up with Prostate Cancer UK to help in the fight against the most common cancer in men. Prostate cancer kills one man every 45 minutes in the UK. That's a father, a grandfather, a son, a brother, a lover, or a friend gone before the referee blows for half-time. You'll have seen the likes of Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Dean Smith, and many more Premier League and EFL managers wear their Man of Men badge. The badge represents everyone in the fight against prostate cancer, and those who wear it stand in solidarity with men living with prostate cancer everywhere. Now, you can buy your badge at prostatecanceruk.org/shop or text Athletic to 70004 to donate £10, and Prostate Cancer UK will send you your badge as a thank you. By donating to Prostate Cancer UK, you'll help raise money to fund life-saving research to deliver better tests and treatments to stop prostate cancer damaging our loved ones. Men, we are with you.